What's up, guys? I'm back this week, and I wanted to start this week off by doing an animal spirit read from this deck that I bought on Amazon. I heard about this deck through Laura Marie Schoenhals, and her podcast, the Sup Podcast, is one of my favorite podcasts because she does Bravo, she does a little bit of everything, and she's fucking hilarious, so everybody, you should go and listen. But she had these spirit cards on, and I thought that they were really fun, so I bought a pack on Amazon and figured I would do a little spirit reading to begin this week. It comes in this really cute box. It was like $25.99, but you can kind of pull these every day. You can do them with your friends, so I thought it would be kind of fun to have just to do with people when they come over. I did it last night with Zach, and I got the hawk and he got the bat. So those mean different things, and I'll go through and do a new one today so we can see. So it comes with the guidebook, and it's all perfect in this little box. And then it comes with the deck. So I realized I had to give you guys a better angle so I can pick a card here. So let's see. What does the universe want to tell me? What animal do I need to identify right now? Ooh. Whoa. Feels dark. The vulture. Okay, so now that I picked my card, and you guys saw, I got the vulture. It feels like it has a negative connotation, a vulture, but we'll see. We'll see what the animal spirit is trying to tell me. So you go through the vulture. It kind of has like a little Harry Potter little triangle, like a Deathly Hallows. Speaking of Harry Potter, we'll get to that. So the vulture, guardian and purifier, essential for rebalance. The vulture is perhaps the most misunderstood creature of all. This intriguing bird balances our ecosystem and prevents the spread of disease. It does the dirty work that no one else wants to do and cleans up our messes. The vulture appears when there's a situation that needs to be purified or brought back into balance. Remember, the vulture is greatly undervalued. What you thought was a mistake or tragedy is a blessing in disguise. When in balance, clarifies, reveals wisdom. When out of balance, dramatic, aggressive. That's accurate. To bring into balance, clean your space, and sage. Okay. So it's kind of fun to do that. I feel like that's something that I'll want to do like in the beginning of my videos. Maybe not every time, but just introspection. Today, I'm a vulture. And that was fun. So another thing I did this weekend is I rewatched all of the entire Harry Potter series because it was on TV and I was watching it live, and then Zach's like, isn't it on HBO? Why don't you just like watch it on HBO in like 4K? And without commercials. And I was like, you're totally fucking right. Why have I not been doing that? So ended up just going through and watching all of them. And if you don't like Harry Potter, you can skip over this. But if you do like Harry Potter, I'm just ranking them from best to worst based on absolutely nothing except my opinion. So the best, I'll start at the best and then get to the worst. So the best Harry Potter, in my opinion, is the Deathly Hallows Part 2, and that's purely because of Snape. Snape is my favorite character in the series because he's very misunderstood. He is all in all just a good fucking person, and you realize that at the end that he protects Harry and he does all these things for him, and he maybe is hard on him, but because he wants to keep him safe and is trying to keep him alive. That scene with Snape in his last scene when he dies is one of the best scenes in movies ever. And when Harry goes through and sees all of his memories, and it's heartbreaking. And then you realize he sent the Patronus and saved him, and it wasn't like Dumbledore, or mainly just because of the Snape scene and because of how it wrapped up that whole storyline of tension between them for so long. I have to say that one's the best one. The second, The Prisoner of Azkaban. I was going through and watching this one on TV and just totally forgot how well it was shot in terms of when it goes back in time and Hermione does the time flip and they go back. The way it was shot, the scenes, and the way that it cuts the past, present, and then you see them going back and kind of saving themselves. I thought it was shot really great, and I had a great time rewatching it. So I'm going to say Prisoner of Azkaban was number 2. Also, that's kind of when it starts to take a darker turn with Sirius Black and then Lupin, and you kind of like get more into that area. After that, number 3, I put Goblet of Fire, of course, because of Cedric Diggory. Not just because of him, but it's where it really turns more dark. And then, the Triwizard Tournament. And I think that's kind of when you can see, I guess, the real beginnings of when Voldemort's coming back, because Cedric dies. So I thought that one was fun just because there was a lot of new people and like fun stuff going on. And then the next one, The Sorcerer's Stone, the first of the lot, which is just a fun one to watch from the start because it's the first one, and obviously seeing Harry in the beginning and how he didn't have any family and how his family treated him and how like different he was. It's just I just liked going back and watching it. And even though these movies are like for kids, they're not. They're good fucking movies. If you're not a Harry Potter fan, I hope I can change your mind because you're missing out. And I'm actually jealous if you haven't seen Harry Potter because you would get to go through and experience it for the first time again. And it is special. Sorry. It's true. So number 5, I put the Deathly Hallows Part 2. And that's purely because of Dobby. And that's when he dies and saves Harry. And that scene is so sad because you just come to love Dobby. So the Deathly Hallows Part 2, it's not like that. The Deathly Hallows movies are like, they're not as exciting because there's like a lot of waiting and hiding. But like important things happen, like important climaxes happen of the stories. So for that, I'll have to say the Deathly Hallows Part 2 for number 5. Number 6, I put the Half-Blood Prince, which it was like a slower movie, and it had the late reveal of like Snape saying he's the Half-Blood Prince, which I liked that, but I just wish there was more of that. And this is me going off of not the books. This is just completely going off of the movies because I love the movies. Yeah, it was a little slow. I mean, I liked Harry having Snape's book, and then we got to see just how cool Snape is again. Like, he's the Half-Blood Prince and he just knows how to do all these cool things. And I don't know. I love the storylines in which we see Snape's character kind of different sides of him because he's only shown in so many different ways, and then you think he's, evil, and basically Harry spends so much of his life thinking he's evil, and that's why the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is my first, because the reveal of that is so important, and it's so, it's everything. To me, I mean, it was my favorite part of the whole series, because you realize how many people really supported Harry, even though he, didn't really know who to trust. And anyways, it's a great fucking movie. 6. Number 7, I put The Chamber of Secrets. Just always a good movie. I mean, I watched that one. It's a little bit, obviously, when they're younger, and it's less serious in tone. It's like more trolls and goblins and like, not goblins, trolls, giants, things like that. So it's still fun. I liked watching it, rewatching it again. And then number 8, last but not least, is The Order of the Phoenix because of Professor Umbridge, and she's the worst. And watching that movie, you just get so mad because she's the worst, and she is just not a good teacher. She's fucking evil. She ruins the whole school. She's bad. She has bad judgment. She has bad taste. Anyways, so she's the worst, and for that reason, it's the worst movie because you just don't like, she's a very unlikable person. And it's focused a lot on her, I feel like. So that's my wrap up. So nobody asked me to put these in order. I just did it for fun because I watched them for fun, and it was fun. I'm actually gonna go through and watch, I think I mentioned this in the last video, I'm gonna watch Lord of the Rings 1, 2, and 3 because I am finishing Rings of Power right now, and there's a lot of similarities and there's a lot of crossover characters. So I'm gonna go back and watch that whole series. So this is kind of fun, just to go through and rewatch some of the movies that shaped part of my childhood, shapes part of the culture of the things that I like. Still love Harry Potter. I know it's like, I don't know if that makes me, I don't know. Harry Potter, I love Lord of the Rings, I love fantasy, I love stuff like that. So I'll come back and maybe I'll have a Lord of the Rings, tier list of which movie. I mean, I think I already know which one's my favorite movie based on the past in which I used to be obsessed with Lord of the Rings when I was younger. Pretty sure my favorite always was Return of the King, but I'll come back, reconvene. I've grown up a little. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be The Fellowship. Maybe it's about the coming together this time. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I'm excited. And it's nice to go back and watch some stuff, gain some new insight on it because it's been a long time or some time has passed. So anyways, I'll be back doing something else probably here in a little bit. So again, I appreciate you guys sticking in there. Today, I'm having a good day. It's sunny outside. I got my boys here. They're hanging out with me. So today's a good day, and appreciate that you guys are still watching if you are. So I'll see you. I feel like a pizza delivery guy today. I'm wearing my hat both times this week because I'm having a bad hair day, so I needed to cover it up somehow. But what's up, guys? I'm really glad you're back. I'm really glad you've stayed logged in this long. You've stayed watching my video this long. And this week, I want to talk about scents. I want to talk about candles. I want to talk about filling the room with great smell. I don't have very many candles at the moment. However, I do have a few. So I want to show you guys some of what I have and go over just candles in general. Everything, again, that I know about candles, I learned from Laura Marie Schoenhals from the Sup podcast. She has a podcast called Babe. There's a question mark at the end. And her and Ed Drosy do an entire series called Haulin' Ass. and they do a whole candle haul where they kind of go over the different price points, the history of the candles, how they're made, what they smell like, their throws. I didn't know anything about candle throws and the throw of a smell, how you're supposed to properly take care of candles, as in trim them, let them burn. The first burn is so important, and it has to burn for a couple of hours, and it has to burn all the way so the surface is fully burned. I didn't know any of that, so I learned a lot about candles through the Babe podcast. So I would go and listen to that if you're into candles and if you appreciate good candle knowledge and also people with great taste. She has an impeccable taste. So now a lot of the candles I am yearning to get are stuff that she suggested. Okay, so like one of the candles that I'm dying to get that they talked about in the podcast was Cire Trudon Spiritus Sancti, and just the way that they describe it, the smells, that's exactly like what I want, but it's a pretty pricey candle. It's $125 for a little guy. The fragrance is Splinters of Crimson, Gold, and Olibanum, heady and holy perfume of altar candles, luxurious wake of the senses and perfume burners where amber splutters. Under the nave of a cathedral, the jubilant choir and the holy scents rise into the souls. You tell me if that doesn't sound great. And they're manufactured in France. It's my wish list candle, so that'll be my next purchase. I don't really splurge a lot on candles, but when I do buy a candle, I do try and buy ones that I've heard of that last long, that are worth the money, and that make a difference in the home and in your attitude when you're around the scents. It really does make a difference. Laura, I know you're not watching this, but if you ever do, don't judge me on some of the candles, because I know some of them are bottom of the barrel. And sometimes you have a couple bottom of the barrel. But future purchases, I will continuously buy nicer candles and ones that I've heard through the podcast, because now I have a better understanding of how to take care of them, of what it truly means to be in the know of candle knowledge. So I'm going to start with, like I said, the bottom of the barrel stuff. And I have to come out with it and say that I am a Disney person to some degree. I mean, I hate the connotation now Disney adult has given a lot of people, but I do love Disneyland. Try to go to Disneyland and not have fun. I think it's pretty impossible. It's fun being there. It's fun going on the rides. It's fun being around all of the kids that are super happy. It sounds kind of creepy. That's not what I mean. But a couple of years ago, I had heard through somebody that there was a candle company that made some of the signature scents of Disney in candles. So I kind of went crazy one year during like a holiday spree and got like some gifts with it and got some stuff for myself, a lot for myself, because I really wanted to smell them. The candle company is called the Magic Candle Company. What basically the Magic Candle Company does, the Magic remakes scents that are specific to Disneyland. So they have like pineapple Dole Whip flavored. They have like confectionery. They have so it's supposed to smell like all these things in Disneyland and Disney World. So let's go ahead and start with one of the Disney ones. I'll start with this one. This one's Christmas Down Main Street. So they don't last very long. They're not the nicest quality. Like I said, I want to say the price point is like $35. They're not too bad. And they are wood wicks. So I don't really like wood wicks. They kind of burn unevenly. So that's the only thing I'll say, but they're great for gifts if you know somebody who loves Disneyland, if you know somebody that just enjoyed going when they went and it was like a memory for you guys. These are great gifts for that. Like I got my best friend Abby and I went to Disneyland together, and so for Christmas one year, I ended up getting her a candle or an air freshener, and she got me a candle, so like we both connect on the Disney thing in terms of like just enjoying it for what it is and then remembering that we had memories there together. So They're great little gifts like that. My least favorite, but it's good during Christmas time, it's Christmas Down Main Street. So this is how it smells in Disneyland during Christmas time when you're walking down Main Street and they're playing all the music. My favorite of the lot of the Disney candles is Pirate Life. My absolute favorite smell is the smell of Pirates of the Caribbean, like the chlorine smell in there just for some reason really gets me. I haven't lit this one yet because I'm saving it. So here's the wood wick in there. It's all blue. And this candle smells just like the inside of Pirates of the Caribbean. So it's very nostalgic, takes me back a little. It's fucking great. So I'm going to save that for a special occasion. But it's one of my favorite smells. And I have a little oil of it too for my humidifier. So I'm just always kind of living in Pirates of the Caribbean. The next one I have is Fiji. If you rode the Soarin' Over California ride, they have a couple different scents in the ride. Like when you go over the orange groves, they also have the orange grove scent that you can get in a candle, in fresheners and stuff like that. If you love that smell, because I have had that one and that one's really good. So this is when you fly over Fiji and you get the smell of the ocean when you're up and soaring over. And this is the smell of that. So it's very clean. It's very clean. It smells just like the water. It smells tropical. That's a good one. And then one of my other favorite scents during the Soarin' ride is when you go over Africa and you get the fresh cut grass smell. And it's like fresh cut, like you smell it directly and right when it comes to you. And this smells exactly like fresh cut grass. I have bad allergies, so it's a little bit like on my throat, but I can't get enough of it. So these are great gifts. Don't sleep on the Magic Candle Company. The next candle I'm doing is this one that I got from Palm Springs. And I'd never heard of the brand. It's JTC Elusive, and it's the Joshua Blossom scent. I haven't burned it yet. I'm waiting. It smells so good though. Apparently it's supposed to smell just like when the Joshua trees start blossoming. But I'm saving it for a nice dinner or something because it's very subtle and I like that. I don't like very sweet smells. I like subtle. And I will report back on how it burns and how it throws. This one I just bought on Amazon. It's Seed of France French Tulip. And I got an Amazon gift card for Christmas. And I just thought, you know what I need? I need a candle. So I decided to take the plunge and buy it on Amazon. I just want to smell it, goddammit. I can smell it immediately. And it smells like flowers, like fresh flowers from the grocery store. And it's a nice size, but the smell is beautiful. I'm excited to burn it. I think it'll be a good one. So last but not least, it's my favorite candle. I heard about Diptyque through the podcast that I was talking about, and I ended up going to go see a live show and going with Zach and Ian, and I was like, we have to go to this Diptyque store because I need to get a candle while I'm there, while I'm in LA. I need to make a nice candle purchase because I'm on vacation and I deserve it. So I talked myself into getting this Diptyque candle. It wasn't that hard. The store is so fucking cool. It's so awesome. The people that were there were so helpful. I believe his name was Bobby, and he was so helpful. Ian ended up buying the exact same candle as me, and I believe a cologne, 2 colognes, to mix so that he could get the scent he wanted for himself. And he dropped a pretty penny there. But I just really wanted the candle, although I do want their rose perfume. It smells so great. So here's the box. I want to say this is also the scent. It's Baze. I want to say this is the scent that Carrie Bradshaw burns in Sex and the City. The price point, I want to say it was like $125. or so. They're pretty expensive, but you'll see why. I can already smell it, and I've only burnt it once. And you can see I burned it evenly. I'm like so worried about it. But I am saving it for another nice occasion. I think I had people over and I burned it. But the smell is like so fucking nice. I want to see if there's a oh, okay, so here's it. I think the smell is berries. And it does smell like berries. But like a very mellow, not very fruity berry. It's like a very toned down, full-bodied berry. And it was my favorite smell when I was there, and I had to go back and forth because I would think it was between that one and maybe the moss one. Was there a moss one? But I had a really hard time, and this one I think is just more universal. And it's my favorite candle. So invest in yourself, invest in a candle. And it made me view candles differently. I do buy some just novelty candles, of course, but I am a lot more particular about my candle purchases now because I know how to take care of them and will invest in the right one for me. And sometimes that means it's a higher price point. Sometimes that means you have to spend a little bit more money, and that's okay, because if that's what your heart tells you to do, then do it, because it makes you feel good, it makes you happy. And one day when I'm old, I'm gonna have, like the big, huge 5-wick candles, and I'm gonna have them just going in my house. And that's what I would like, is just to have a scent in my house at all times. But I know those candles are insanely expensive and they're fucking massive. So I don't need that right now at this point. But someday I'll get there. Always just good to have scent knowledge, scent knowledge. And I'm happy that I could give that to you a little bit today. I know. But for now, this is good, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to show you guys all my stuff, and I hope that this was informative and maybe gave you guys some ideas about going online and shopping for some candles right now. Candle Delirium, I think I have an email subscription to them, and they always do like 15% off or 20% off, and they sell like Diptyque, Cire Trudon, all those candles that I was talking about. They sell like really nice candles and middle tiers, in between tiers of candles. So I would look on Candle Delirium and try to sign up and get that going. But enjoy the way you smell, enjoy the way your house smells, and buy a good candle. And come back and watch me next week do something else. Not related to scents, but I'll do something else. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And come back. Come back.